What's good, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Really appreciate it. Would like to welcome you to episode 42. And please, I'm going to ask if you could stay until the very end. Have a very important announcement to make. Very extremely important announcement to make about the update of the channel for Saturdays. Unless you've already seen the update video. If you've already seen the update video, then I guess the last 2 minutes of the video, and I'll let you know when that pops up. You could probably just exit out, or you could stay because longevity of watching the video is good for the algorithm. The longer you watch the video, the more it seems to send it out to other people. Also, you know what else does that? Liking, sharing the video as well, and even commenting. I would love for you to subscribe, but the liking and sharing is definitely the most important part, because at the end of the day, as long as the message is getting out there, it does not matter how many subscribers we have. It just matters if the people are being impacted in a huge manner, right? That's weird. I got a lot of air drift today. So today, or should I say this month, y'all know it's Men's Mental Health Awareness. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Good Lord. Right? And as a man, I think it is very important that we continue to get rid of this negative stigmas. Well, stigma could be considered negative when it comes to men's mental health. And allow me to explain why. The reason why I bring this up is because a lot of times, let's just be real, right? Men's mental health oftentimes gets overlooked. And not only does it get overlooked, but it gets overshadowed with everything else that's going on, especially on a month like this. I think a lot of the reason why men's mental health doesn't get talked about enough is because it just really started like opening up more in recent years. And when you think about the month of June, there's a lot going on in June. You have Father's Day, you have Pride Month, you have Juneteenth, which I'm actually recording this video on the day of Juneteenth. Like I always tell you guys, I always record these videos well in advance. So happy Juneteenth, or should I say happy belated Juneteenth, since I didn't actually post a video on Juneteenth this year. I'll do better next year, I promise. But at any rate, it's so much stuff going on, so it kind of just gets overshadowed. And not only that, but I think a lot of men just started opening up and really talking about mental health. This is something that has more so occurred in recent years as opposed to past years, right? And I can honestly say the reason for this, a lot of it honestly has to do with, number one, awareness. You know, it's not getting talked about enough. So when it's not getting talked about enough, people don't really mention it as often. But also, number two, it ties into the fact that men's mental health, in some cases, is not always taken as seriously. And I'll explain why before some people have their, notions where they might disagree. I say that because men, we are taught to be strong. We are taught to persevere. We are taught to push through no matter the circumstances. And I'm all for that. And as a man, I understand that it's very important to exhibit those qualities, those characteristics, because that's what makes us who we are, right? When things knock us down, we get back up. We are strong. We need to be strong, not just for ourselves. I mean, obviously it's the most important, but for the people that are around us, our family, wives, friends, students, mentees, so on and so forth. The list goes on, you name it, right? The man is often on the forefront. He's the one that pretty much takes the brunt of a lot of things within society. And also, he takes the brunt of protecting his who? Family. His family. Right? Can't stress that enough. Can't stress how important it is for people to know that. Think about it like this. Somebody breaks into your home, 6 o'clock in the morning. This for my ladies for a second. Ladies, you know, you married, right? Somebody breaks into your home 4 or 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, or maybe even earlier than that, the wee midnight hours. Who you gonna expect to go down and take care of business? Your husband, right? So I say all that to say that there's a lot for men to bear. And that could be a lot on a man's mental. And yeah, I get it. Some men don't open up about it as often, but just because they don't open up about it doesn't mean it's not there. I've always been pretty open about mental health because I have been an advocate of mental health since I was a jit. If you know what jit means, it's Florida slang for kid. Like, I've always been that way because I have dealt with mental health challenges literally since I was a kid. So if anybody asks me about mental health and well-being and therapy, I tell people all the time, I'm all for it. I'll be the first one. I'll be the first guy to say it. Hey, let's talk about it, right? Because it's important. But unfortunately, there are some men that don't view it that way. Not necessarily that it's not important, but they don't really think about it because as men, we're always like on the go. It's always go, 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 go. It's always, we got to do what we got to do. We got to handle business, which is important, by the way. But also, I don't think we do enough to stop and just simply check in on ourselves. Are we doing better? Yes, absolutely. I see it. And fellas, I am proud of us. But I think we still have a long ways to go. Right? But again, I get it. Because it's been pressed down for so long, it's something that we really don't talk about. And I will say this. I think the first time I realized that men really felt that mental health was extremely important was when I joined my church, Orlando World Outreach Center. Shout out to my church family, by the way. When I joined them, it really made me recognize that there are men that do take their mental health seriously. Because if there's one thing about OWOC represents the whole person. The mental, the spiritual, the emotional, the physical. And let me tell you something. Our pastor, don't get me wrong, there's all love for the ladies. That is for certain. But he don't play about the men in his church. He wants all of the men to be the best version that God wants them to be. And he, along with other pastors of the church, talk about men's mental health a lot. Because it's something that at one point in time was considered taboo. Why are we talking about men's mental health? And a lot of times I see a lot of influencers on social media, which I look up to and I'm inspired by, but sometimes they say this one thing that I disagree with. And that is, men don't have mental health problems, they just need to be strong. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I do agree that men need to be strong. Absolutely. I do agree that men need to be masculine. Absolutely. But to dismiss a man's mental health is to dismiss a part of who he is. Because men, just like women, they got feelings, or we got feelings. Let me say that because I'm a man. Let me just go ahead and put it out there. We got feelings, right? We have moments where we might go through mental distress. We have moments where we experience things that could be crippling. Does that not affect us too? But again, society doesn't talk about it that much. They look at it from a different perspective. Oh, you a man, you just got to deal with it. Come again? Try again? It's just, I think something that society has to pay more attention to. But I think in order for society to pay more attention to it, we have to continue to bring it up. Because if it doesn't get said, then nothing gets accomplished. Closed mouths don't get fed, as my mom always says. And you know what's very interesting about this month? I've seen a lot of people on social media, not people that I know personally, praise God, but just from videos, reels, and I know a part of it is just negative propaganda of ladies, and this is no diss on ladies, because I know most ladies don't do this, it's few far in between, talking about why should we care about men's mental health. And that saddened me, y'all. I'm not even going to front. And I'm going to tell you why it saddened me. And again, this is not a directness towards all women, because again, it's not a lot of women that do this. But unfortunately, the few that do this, they make it look bad for a lot of people. For an individual that God created to be more in tune with their emotions, which also connects them to being more in tune with their mental, you would think that there would be more understanding of someone going through mental health challenges and why they should care. And some of the videos I've seen would be like, oh, well, you know, why should we care about men's mental health? Y'all don't care about our mental health. And that goes back to the choices that people have made. Which leads me to this, fellas. If you are currently single, I need you to get you a woman who's going to care about your whole overall being. And a part of that whole overall being is your what? Your mental health. That is so important. Get you a woman that's going to be good for your mental health. If you don't have one yet, pray that God sends you one, if that's what you desire. Right? Because as I always say on this channel all the time, your mental ties so much into everything. If you're mental, I don't care how strong you are as an individual. You could be Arnold Schwarzenegger strong. Let me tell you something. If your mental ain't where it needs to be, you're going to be just as physically challenged as a 7-month-old baby. You're going to be looking like my baby girl niece, Naomi, trying to stand up, trying to get her strength together. Shout out to my niece, by the way. I miss her. Anyways, the mental affects so many different things. And that's another reason why it's so important. People say men got to be strong, but if our mental ain't strong, there's nothing that we can do. That's a part of what makes a man strong, is his mental fortitude. And yes, I get it, and I agree 500%. A man should build his mental fortitude to be the best that it can be, so it can handle all forms of opposition. But I'm going to be real. At some point, we need a checkup. We need a checkup. We cannot go on and on and on and on and on and on without getting a checkup. Because I'm going to just put it out there and I'm going to say it. If no other man going to say it, I'll be the one to say it. We get tired. We get tired. Not just physically tired, but mentally tired. Sometimes we might even get spiritually tired. I use myself as an example. I'm going to be real with you. Yes, I'm pushing through. I'm making a lot more content. But I'm going to keep it real with y'all. A brother is mentally tired. I'm not in a bad place. Let me just make that clear. I'm okay. Praise be to the Most High. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that the past couple weeks have been a bit physically and mentally challenging for me. I left the school year. School year ended. It was a great school year. Probably the best group of students I've taught thus far. Best year of teaching thus far. It was great. But as soon as the school year ended, I didn't get a summer break. I went right back into working. I worked 2 jobs. And to be honest, it was already at the end of the year somewhat burnout for me. And I went right back into working. Right back into working. And I'm not saying this to complain or anything like that. Let me make this perfectly clear. Not sitting here complaining or nothing, because I thank God truly that I have work so I can pay my bills for the summer. Right? But I'm just letting y'all know that's what happened. I did that. I worked 2 jobs. I'm a content creator. I'm also a hip hop artist. And, other things going on behind the scenes that I'm figuring out, and so on and so forth. Sorry about that. So, a brother's tired. And mentally, it does take a toll. I say all that to say that we might not talk about it much as men, but we feel it. We really do feel it, especially when you are in the mindset, or should I say the position of servitude. You get tired. Think about you don't think pastors get tired? Shoot, even Yeshua got tired. That man was in the Garden of Gethsemane. I'm not saying it right. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Jesus, Lord, help me. That man was in the garden praying, and I'm paraphrasing here when I say this. But he said, Lord, this is so much to bear. Please take this from me. This is too much. So he had a moment of openness where he realized, Father, I'm tired. I don't know if I could do this. He had a moment where he felt defeated. He was mentally depleted at that point. Or you could say spiritually depleted, right? But then in that same breath, he also said, let your will be done. Meaning, if this is supposed to happen, I'll take one for the team. Again, I'm giving you the Marcus phrase, you're paraphrasing of it. But y'all know what I'm talking about. If you read your word, you know what I'm talking about. And the reason why I bring this up is because if my Lord and Savior, who is God in a sense, but came down as man, has a moment where he is, a little bit mentally nerfed. You mean to tell me we not gonna get mentally nerfed? You mean to tell me men can't be men? Get out of here. Yes. It happens. And I'm not saying that man or anybody for that matter, man or woman, should stay there. But it does happen, ladies and gentlemen. It does happen. And again, we might not say it because in that same breath, we'll be like, Yeshua. We'll get up and be like, all right. And for those who don't know who Yeshua is, I'm referring to Jesus. That's his that's Hebrew name, right? That's the name that he actually is in the literal sense addressed as. Remember, Jesus was the more of the American, what's what I'm looking for? Western concept, hemisphere, if you will. But We'll talk about that in another video, because that's a car ride chronicle within itself. We'll get there eventually, y'all. But yeah, like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I wish that society would appreciate mental health for men a bit more. I think some people are coming around. There are big parts of society that are taking notice, and I'm very happy about that. But there are other parts where it's like, we got some work to do. We got some real deal work to do. And a part of it, fellas, starts with us. I know there's a lot of things that we've learned from our parents, from our grandparents, especially if you are a black person or a person of color. Yes, I'm calling us out right now. Because there's a lot of things that we have to unlearn that society has taught us. However, that starts with you, the person that's listening to this video. It's okay to not be okay. I always tell people, it's just not okay to stay there. But it's definitely okay to not be okay. It's okay if your mental ain't on par all the time. You are allowed to have moments where you step back, reflect, and realize, hey, my mental really ain't been on point lately. Maybe you're taking on a lot with your job. Maybe you're taking on a lot with your family. And I'm not saying don't fulfill your duties. I'm not saying don't be strong, but don't be afraid to recognize when something is off. Because I think that's part of the first step to overcoming mental hurdles. You got to be able to sit back and recognize, yes, I'm going through it right now. I'm real deal going through it. And not necessarily in the complaining motion, but more so in the motion where you just really are honest with yourself. Because that is a big step. You have to be honest with yourself in terms of what's good, what's going on. And then once you're honest with yourself, you can begin to address the issue. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy addressing the issue. So let me just go ahead and put that out there for anybody that thinks, oh, I'm just, Marcus is just saying, just go ahead and do it. No, I'm not saying that. I'd be totally wrong. Totally lost, in the words of Mr. Wells, if I was to tell somebody that. Because it ain't that simple. But what I am saying is, when you recognize, you can take the first step. I'm going to say this, and then we're going to go ahead and end this video. Men, you are important. Please don't forget that. Your mental is important. Please don't forget that. Please take care of yourself. If you need to go to therapy, go to therapy. Ain't nothing wrong with therapy. Nothing. Because a lot of times, that's how our mental health can be improved, by talking to somebody professionally. Get in the gym, fellas. If you're not there, get there. I'm not saying the gym fixes all problems, but I cannot begin to tell you how much the gym has saved certain parts of my mental health. Even when I have times where I don't feel like, you think I feel like going to the gym every day? Heck no. But a part of the reason why I do it is not just for the physical aspect, because I want the body that I want. A brother want to be looking good, but a brother want to be feeling good. A brother want to be mentally locked in. And the gym helps with that. What hobbies do you have? Get more involved with your hobbies. Your hobbies, are things that you love. Things that you love can really help out your mental. I love skating. I love music. I mean, music is more than a hobby for me. It's a career. But when I'm on stage and I'm performing, the world is just frozen in time. When I'm skating at the skating rink, the world is just frozen in time. I'm not thinking about what's next all the time. I'm sorry, that's just the overthinker. When I'm hanging out with my boys, I'm not thinking about what the time is like, And let me address something else. Fellas, check on your boys. I admit that's something I have to do more often. I've been slipping. At one point, I was really good with it. I started slipping up real bad. Check on your boys. See how your fellas are doing. Please. it really, a check-in might make a difference. You text somebody and say, hey, brother, I was just checking on you. I love you, man. Just wanted to see how you're doing. You know, hit me back when you can. They might not necessarily call you or text you back, depending on how busy they are, but it's the thought. I had somebody that reached out to me a couple weeks ago, was like, hey man, I haven't heard from you in a couple weeks. I just want to make sure you're good. And it made my day. Because I was having a rough day. Ladies, if you got a man, your boyfriend, your husband, check on him. Make sure he good. Because let me tell you something. When his mental good, I promise you're going to be good. I promise. I can assure you 5,000%. And really be genuine with it. You know what I mean? And the only reason I say really be genuine is because I know that men and women process emotions differently. So it might be a lot for you because you might not be used to seeing your man in that manner. But I will say this. Ladies, if he decides to open up to you, don't throw it back in his face later on. And really be open to listening. Because just like you need a safe space, fellas need a safe space too. And when you can give that man your safe space, he's going to give you that safe space times infinity. And not only is he going to give you that safe space times infinity, but you best believe he going to come to you and be more open. I promise you he will. If you shut it down, you will lose that man. Not in a literal sense, but that aspect of him being open with you. And that is especially true when it comes to his mental. Shoot, his mental might improve just realizing that you're a safe space and being like, you know what? Because most times when guys talk and they're having mental and emotional challenges, they talk to their boys. And ladies be like, well, why can't he talk to me? Well, you got to be sure you provide that safe space, especially from a mental standpoint. You know what I mean? Our mental health matters. But fellas, it ultimately starts with us. We have to continue to put it out there. And it can't just be 1 month that we're a big aspect on it. It has to be year long. Has to be. Otherwise, it just gets lost in the sauce. People think about it in June and it's like, okay, that's it, right? It's kind of like Black History Month. We know Black History Month is in February, although Black History Month is every day in America, right? But if we don't treat it like the statement I just said, then it gets lost in the sauce. Oh, okay, all right, June's over. Back to, back to whatever. All right? So, real quick announcement. Then we're going to end this video. I'm going to try not to go past 30 minutes. Forgive me if I do. So, as I said in my announcements video from Thursday, I'm going to do a recap. This is going to be the last episode of the Teachable Tuesdays Long Car Chronicles. For now. Yeah, I know I scared some of y'all. Some of y'all was like, dang, really? That's it? No more? No. We're not going away forever. I promise. I can assure you that. Just for the moment. And the reason why, like I mentioned in my updates, is because we're going to be doing something fun over the next couple of Saturdays. We're going back to the Tekken Tag Tournament, bowling tournament. I know it's a lot of tournaments. That I did, I think I did, was it a year ago? Was it 2 years ago? I can't remember at this point. Everything's kind of meshed together. There's so many views that we got on the channel. But yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was different. It seemed like you guys enjoyed it. It seemed like you guys were really tuning in. So I really want to bring that back. And I said that in April I was going to start it. I never really fully got around to it. Just because stuff was going on. I had a lot of videos I was dropping with the channel. So Teachable Tuesdays Long Car Chronicles will be taking a hiatus. I can't exactly tell you how long. I can give you an estimate. I'm going to say roughly around, give or take, we should be back in October, November at the latest. It might be sooner. It just depends on how long the tournament is because I will say the last time I did a Tekken Tag tournament, bowling tournament, which I was streaming on a video game, that took about, I think, 8 weeks, because it was a family edition, so it really wasn't a lot of characters. But I think Tekken Tag tournament has a total of, I think, don't quote me on it, 32 characters. Roughly. Or there's enough for it to be 32 characters, which if that's the case, that means we have to have a first round, a second round, quarterfinal round, a semifinal round, and a final round. So that's going to be 5 rounds. I'm not doing the math right now, truth be told, because I don't exactly know for certain. But bottom line is, it's going to take a little minute. So be on the lookout for that. You might not be into it, and that's okay. But if you are into video games, this is definitely something different that I think you guys will really, really enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, for real. And, I always try to switch it up every now and again with the content on the channel, because I know sometimes it can be a bit redundant. And I want to keep you guys engaged. And some of you guys might not like it. Some of y'all might see it and be like, that ain't really my thing. I just came here for motivational content, and that's it, which is mostly what this channel is about. And that's perfectly fine. If that's who you are, hey, I still thank you for your continued support with other endeavors. But, this is a little something to switch up and have some fun nonetheless. So with all that being said, video's over 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and end it here. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. I love you all. Men, remember, you are important. Okay? And until the next time that we do a Teachable Tuesdays Long Car Ride Chronicles, remember, keep the discussions going within your own community. And, in the community tab, when I post things, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys would like to see. Let me know what you guys want to check out. I am curious to hear your thoughts and what you have to offer. Much love, y'all.